Hooked on East Texas. Yes, summertime fishing can be tough. Like us, the fish get sluggish and aren't as hungry. But this year, summer seems to be defying logic, as we found out on a recent trip to Lake Fork.
21, just like that.
It all adds up. Summertime crappie fishing on Lake Fork, as hot as an East Texas summer.
I tell everybody that if you want to catch the most fish a day, summertime's the time to do that. 23.
We're with Lake Fork crappie guide Jacky Wiggens, and the bite, like the weather, is sizzling.
He already had one before he even got down there. 9 seconds. And another keeper.
If Wiggens looks or sounds familiar, it's because he's been guiding on area lakes for more than 20 years. And he writes the weekly Lake Fork Crappie Report for Texas Parks and Wildlife. He fishes 7 days a week.
I want somebody to be able to read that report and use it and know where they need to go. If they've never been to Lake Fork before, I want them to be able to just know that, hey, I can come here and I can look at the timber or the brush or the laydowns in this depth this week, use this bait, and we'll be able to produce fish.
Wiggens makes it look easy.
In the springtime, they'll bite a plastic jig, you drop it down, they'll just crush it. But during the summer, they're a little more finicky, so you need to go to those minnows and go to those little bitty hand ties.
On this trip, we're seeing those summer tips firsthand. Number one, minnows are best this time of year.
We're hooking these minnows through the lip, catching them in that bottom lip right there.
Number two, the biggest thing to remember, everything runs in cycles, even fish.
There's never a bad bite on Lake Fork. Lake Fork, the only thing that changes is the pattern. So the pattern changes, the depth that we fish changes, how we approach those fish may change.
Third, it's all about approach. Floating a minnow over top a school of crappie can keep them biting, but it comes back to finding where the fish are hiding.
In the summertime, we look for laydowns, we look for brush piles that hold fish next to trees, and then we look for big, deeper water bow dart trees. Those are the three patterns that produce the most fish for us in the summertime.
Crappie fishing on East Texas lakes has exploded in popularity over the last few years. Most anglers say crappie are fun to catch, good to eat, and you never know when you'll catch a rarity of the species.
So 1% of the black crappie have a black nose or a black racing stripe down their nose, and that's what that is right there. See, it has a black racing stripe right down the nose.
And in this week's report, Wiggens says that the minnows are still the hot ticket out on Lake Fork. If you're fishing one area and they're just not seeming to bite, just move on to the next until you catch that next hot spot. All right.